wooed his wife, that courted the girl of his dreams and said, marry me, I promise you, I'll get you the cheapest stuff forever.
That's right. We'll have a deal. We'll have so much, Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It's so true.
But the Wall Street grandees, they say, oh, Americans just want cheap stuff. No, I'm sorry, my country's worth more than that. I believe in my country more than that.
I'd rather pay a little extra to get something that somebody made here, to know that it fed, their company and their family.
Right.
We're in it together.
I want to get something, exactly. I'll pay a little more to know that it was made by my neighbor.
Yeah.
And I paid my neighbor when I bought it, instead of paying the communist government in China that's putting bamboo shoots under their fingernails.
How did that ever make sense?
Yeah.
The Democrats are getting really desperate.
Yes.
And
getting? Getting more desperate.
Things are going to probably get worse before they get better. Mm-hmm. But when you meet the president, I know you talk to him frequently. What's your sense of, I know he never loses his energy, but we don't know what's coming. We don't know what's coming. I mean, before November. What are your thoughts on the way the rest of the election season is going to go?
This is going to be the toughest, nastiest, most brutal election season and campaign you've ever seen. We don't know who it's going to be. If it's going to be President Trump versus Bernie, President Trump versus the old Bolshevik, if it's going to be President Trump versus Bloomy, is it going to be Bernie or Bloomy?
Bernie or Bloomy.
Or Booty?
You just
coined Bernie, Bloomy, Booty, or Amy. We don't know. Or somebody we don't know yet. Or maybe it's going to be Hillary's back again.
They're all B's.
They're all B's.
Amy's going to be out after Super Tuesday.
I think so. She's going to run out of money.
Yeah,
I went to Iowa. I went to Iowa and New Hampshire to talk to the Democratic voters. And just take their temperature and listen.
That's very big of you, Curtis.
Yeah, well, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy listening and hearing where these people are at. And I heard stuff that you never hear by watching TV, or I haven't read. I don't have time to read, but I haven't read anything like what I met and what I heard. So I met some Amy voters, right? Some people that were thinking of Amy, thinking of Mayor Pete. And one of the funniest things they said was, I'm thinking of Amy because I'm tired of being yelled at.
Bernie with
Bernie, we're going to do this.
And Joe?
And Joe is, come on, man.
You didn't mention Joe.
They didn't, and that's the thing. They didn't mention Joe. These people were like, I thought I was talking to laboratory-created Joe Biden voters, right? They're older. And they're older than me. They're older. They're moderate. They're looking to defeat Trump. That's the number one thing, is defeat Trump.
They're just
and I said, and they're thinking of Mayor Pete, or they're thinking of Amy, and they've given up on Elizabeth. I said, well, what about Joe? And said, never considered him. So
really?
Yeah. And
so that's really the underlying sentiment. They're just kind of letting it go by.
And I said, why? And I said, he just doesn't have the energy. He doesn't have the. And they were trying to be polite, and then I'd press him a little and say, he's just not as sharp.
Oh my gosh! No, he doesn't.
I mean, that was death. I mean, that's like
the comment he made. Was it a couple of days ago? Was it after the? I think it was after the debate where he said he declared that he was running for Senate.
Right. I'm a candidate for U.S. Senate. Well, and that shows he's on automatic pilot. He's on.
Yeah. He's exhausted.
He's exhausted.
Can't.
He should never have run. I never thought. I wasn't sure he was going to get in, because I thought. I thought he had enough sense to know, I've been through this. I've done it all. Now's the time to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
But by running,
go off on a high note.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to go out on a very
you got to know when to step away from the table. You take your cards, you take your winnings, and you go home.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that, which proves the other truism about Joe Biden, which is he's not very smart.
No,
he's not very smart.
He never was very smart.
No.
I just wish they'd hurry up, because I want to get to the debates, the national debates with President Trump. That's just going to be. I mean, they're going to be watch parties. And
that's what one of these. It's one of these guys told me. He said he was for Mayor Pete. His wife was from Amy, and they were older. And I said, and Joe, no, never Joe. And said, I don't think he could stand up to Trump. I don't think he could stand up to Trump in the debate, walking behind him, making smart aleck remarks.
That's what Trump like. It's just going to be the best show in town. So,
Yeah.
Listen, I know you've got a lot of events and a lot of other places to stop tonight, and I'm so grateful that you were here.
Oh, great.
I hope
No,
you will
thank
come
you.
on the show maybe in
Sure.
a couple of weeks. We've
Yeah.
got your publicist and everything.
Okay, great.
Love to have you come on, and we'll talk more about as after Super Tuesday, especially.
You bet.
Would
Oh,
that be
yeah.
good?
So that's when we blow out all the others. Now, Bloomberg, I mean, he's another mess. I mean, oh
yeah,
my God.
say a few before you run off. Say
Yeah.
a little bit about Mike Bloomberg. I mean,
I live in New York City. I was there when he was mayor.
you have my
and
condolences.
yeah, yeah. Please don't hold it against me.
I won't. We know.
So the more you know Mike, the more you get to know Mike, the less you like him. That was always the case in New York City. People put up with him as mayor. He came in right after 9/11, and everybody was terrified. You know, it's like, oh, and they just wanted this voice of reason. Oh, he's a billionaire. That's great. Mike is arrogant. He's an elitist. He's
Everything they say, right?
Everything they say. He does not want to deign to have to talk to anybody. So those are not good traits for a politician,
People are
right?
gonna read
And
that.
people
They're
can
gonna
smell
read
it.
that.
They can
Yes.
see it. They can smell it.
Yes.
And he's got that little voice, and he's just annoying. And why are you talking to me like that?
I didn't know Curtis did imitations. This is great. Yeah.
I'll come on as Mike. Anytime you want an interview with Mike Bloomberg, just call me.
This is Mike's alter ego character.
Right,
He
Mini
looked
Mike. I'm the
he
mini
was
Mini Mike.
annoyed to be on that
Exactly.
stage. Like he bought his way in.
Right. I don't know why he went on the stage. He can buy all the time. He doesn't need to be on these debates.
And
Why
he
is he
looked
even
annoyed.
doing
He
it?
looked annoyed, like I have to answer a question.
Right.
You bought your way on here. So it was really crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and what he says, it was bad enough when he's talks about the farm. I can teach anyone to be a farmer. Anyway, yeah, even the people in this room. I mean, what a
terrible.
snide
It was
remark.
terrible.
Even the people in this room, even you stupid people, I can teach you. But
It was
that's
unbelievably-
the attitude of the Wall Street elitists that have been running this country until Donald Trump came along. Is we don't need manufacturing. We're the finance people. We're smarter than everybody else, and we'll just
Good point.
we'll just tell you what to do, and you don't need those jobs anymore. We'll send them to China, and China's not a dictatorship. He's a good guy, and he has to answer to the Politburo. But they're like they're smarter than you people. So
Yeah, they've got all that other information.
Right.
It's just unbelievable. He really, I don't know how he even got as far as he got. It's
he
incredible.
bought his
Even
way.
He bought his way.
He bought his
Did
way.
he buy that mayoral?
Oh, and that's the
Crazy
other.
thing?
Yeah, and this hasn't been covered so much. When he ran for mayor the third time, you can see the playbook that he's doing now. He changed the law so he could run for a third term. There were term limits in New York. He changed the law. It's
That sounds familiar. We were afraid Governor Northam is going to do that in Virginia.
Yeah.
Seriously, while they own Virginia, the Democrats right now.
So he changed the law, and then what he did is he paid, like overpaid, for every political consultant in New York in both parties, so that nobody else could hire them. So that nobody else could hire. He bought the whole team. It's like the Yankees, He bought the best.
So
he bought the best, so nobody could get a good ball player.
Bizarre.
Yeah, and then he used his foundation, Bloomberg Philanthropies, the Bloomberg Family Foundation, and wrote hefty checks, like $500,000 checks, like checks that these people had never seen this kind of money, to the advocates for the homeless, for the advocates for the drug addicts, for the needle exchange people, for the this, for the that, for the arts organizations,
So
for
much
the
control.
ACLU, so they were all afraid to criticize him, right? So when he decided, as a city policy, if you were a working homeless family, and if you didn't, and you had to sleep in the shelter before you went to work the day, you had to pay rent to the homeless shelter. And so the homeless advocates thought, this is a horrible policy. Let's protest this. I'll be able to do a press conference to get some homeless advocates up here. None of them would appear because, we don't want to get sideways with Mayor Bloomberg, who just gave us a big check.
Wow.
So he bought off all the talent.
He knew what he was doing.
Then he bought off all the liberal opposition, right? And that's what he's doing here. He's trying to buy his way. And then, but this is the kicker. And so none of the unions, like the teachers union, the garbage men unions, the prison guard unions, which are big in New York City, is a big union town. Those are the transit workers, right? The subway workers. They've got immense power. And they're the ones who turn out the vote, right? And they always turn out the vote for the Democrats. They sat on their hands through the election because they didn't want to get sideways with Mike either, because everybody assumed with all that money he's going to win. He's spending money, like incredible money. He barely won. He still
really? In spite of
barely
all the money?
in spite
Wow.
of all the money, he barely won.
Because he's such a nasty guy.
Because he's such a nasty
and they
guy.
See through him.
And then everybody woke up the day after the election and said, damn, if we'd actually gotten out there and helped the Democrat who was running against him, we could have beat this guy.
Oh, wow, because it was close. Wow.
Yeah. So
You
he's
know,
a nothing. He's a horrible politician.
He worries me because I know he's infused a lot of money into the Virginia
Right.
local races.
Right.
And he's
And
really
he-
thrown our state off.
Yeah, and he's done it with around the country. He's bought attorney general's offices. He's like George Soros, funding these candidates that are running for state and local offices, putting in these district attorneys that don't want to prosecute crimes. You know, I mean, he's doing all this crazy stuff.
Oh my God! Yeah, red flag laws. He
Yeah, right.
kind of dismantled the NRA here and
Yeah.
the headquarters here, and I think he's been influential in that. How are we going to overcome a guy like that?
Expose him, just keep,
You know.
that's why we got President Trump. He's not
I
afraid of a
know.
fight. And
Man,
you
he's
want to
not.
throw $500 billion at me against me? Bring it on, buddy. Make
Yeah.
my day.
You know what? President Trump deserves the great base that he's got.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's been with all of us since day one.
He's teaching us
Really
all
amazing.
not just how to fight and why to fight, but it's fun to fight.
It is definitely fun to fight with President. I mean, for
With
from
him
President
around
Trump's
it.
perspective.
With
Oh my
it.
God, he makes me laugh every day.
So we're
Every day.
gonna open a can of whoop ass.
Yeah, we sure are. You started the interview by saying that, and we're ending it with that. That is so true. It is gonna be great. It's
It
gonna be
is.
great. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Well,
I'm
we're
looking
gonna let
forward
you
to
go.
being with you again.
You too. You're gonna be on the show again soon. So it'll
Okay,
be fun.
great.
I know Ken wants you, but too bad. I've got you on
Yeah,
my show.
Ken,
You're gonna be on
good to
Dr.
see you.
Jane's DC.
You bet.
Okay. Well, great.
Take
Well,
care.
You too, Curtis. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Any old
Hey, this is
time.
live, but so what? We'll make sure each other's cards.
There we go. See?
Thank you.
America first.
Yes, let's see how people. Yes, can you show that? And can people go to the
AmericaFirstPolicies.org.
Yeah, because this helps other candidates as well, and Curtis spreads the good news.
We'll
And
get her
you'll see him
done.
on Dr. Jane's DC in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Curtis. Hopefully, see you at a party or two. But
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much. Well, guys, that was so great. We are going to wrap up now. It is 7:35. We're going to wrap up. CPAC is getting a little quieter. Some of the sessions are about to wrap up. We will be back. I'm going to let Ken tell you a little bit about what he's got planned for tomorrow on live broadcasting. I will be back at 6 p.m. to go live with Deanna Lorraine, Laura Loomer, and a few other people who have yet to confirm, but I'm pretty sure they will be exciting.
Yeah, and I'm very excited
Tell
about
everybody
Laura Loomer.
what's going on.
First and
Yeah,
foremost,
Laura.
let me just say these. I want to give kudos to Jane Ruby. She doesn't like me to call her doctor, although she's an incredible doctor indeed.
Oh,
Dr.
thank you
Jane
so much.
Ruby, because she's a superstar on this particular network. I knew that from the moment I saw her at the White House and her protests. She has a voice that's been missing from conservative talk, and I want to just say this, and because it's my network, I can.
That is true. This is you own the airtime.
I own this.
You own this airtime.
I own this puppy.
I love it.
But there are Republicans out there, and then there are conservatives. Many of you all have been shamed into hiding because you are conservative, but you've been called a rhino. You're not a rhino. Conservatives believe, firstly, that there's a moral order. Secondly, smaller government. Thirdly, they believe that your relationship with God is between you and God, and that government should not get in the way of that. So when you have an incredible person like Jane Ruby, who comes onto a network.
Or Ken McClellan.
Well, thank you.
Who started it.
You basically have the ingredients for what it takes to spread the good news of conservatism to the world. So I'm going to say this to you all. Many of you all have been in hiding, and you wait until there's a CPAC event of some type, and you want to cheerlead, and then you lose that fire once you get on the airplane back home. We are in a war. I know that other people would say that that's egregious in terms of saying or hyperbolic, but that's okay. I'm that kind of guy. We are actually in a war for the sanctity of America. The principles are exuding for all to see. Mm-hmm. Conservatism is a way of life for all of us. If we fall away from conservatism, what other options do you have? Socialism? Racism? Democratism? all the isms that will tear us apart. So I'm going to tell you all right now, you all need to tune in to Jane's show on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And some people have said to me, Ken, your ideas about creating a conservative network are audacious, too ambitious. I believe they're too small. I really want to see this woman sitting on the front row at the White House asking the President of the United States in the next 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, questions that are poignant for you, the American people, not the CNN, robots, and not the MSNBC radicals.
And not about the latest smear campaign, but about his policies and what he's doing for us and how they will affect our lives and how he's bettering our lives.
Exactly. So I'm going to tell you all right now, continue to tune into TECN TV. We've had a jump of 800%. Fox News can't tell you that.
So exciting.
800% viewership increase over the past 3 weeks, and it will continue to grow. So we're going to ask that you continue to watch and that you share this network and stop living in the shadows. It's time for you all to come out of the shadows and begin to make a true light to the world. For all of us at TECN TV, I want to thank Jeff Dunitz for all the work behind the scenes that he did to make sure that we got here. Alexa Dunitz for her hard work while she's here. Jane Ruby for being by our side. Pastor Greg Young for tipping off the game at the beginning of our show times at 10 a.m. in the morning. So I'm going to ask you all, make your way here and share this particular story, because it's not my story. It's not Jane's story. It's your story, and we're willing to share it. From all of us, right here at the Gaylord National Harbor, we want to thank you all so much for tuning in to TECN TV, and we release you so that you might be able to enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless you. We'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Good night, everybody.